Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to do something completely different, something that I've never done before. I found this old document in my computer that I thought I deleted all my elder stuff, and I thought I'd make a video about it. So just really briefly, I was appointed an elder April Fool's Day 2011. So tomorrow is my 11th anniversary of being an elder. Yay! I was deleted April 12th, 2016 for apostasy. So I was an elder for a little over 5 years. When I woke up in 2016, I got rid of my elders book. I got rid of all of my documents, but somehow I missed this document. So now, why am I making this video? I want to prove a lie that Watchtower uses all the time, saying that when somebody confesses to CSA, they can't call the police because of clergy penitent privilege, of confidentiality. It's confession. Well, in this document, it kind of disproves that. And we're going to go over how the elder body works in these quarterly elders meetings. So, for people who don't know, that there are 4 quarterly elders meetings, that's why we call it quarterly, every 3 months. And the coordinator usually types this up, but sometimes he might delegate it to the serviceer or the secretary. This is given out before the elders meet, so everybody knows. So in both congregations I was in, the first thing you do is you go over people who are on judicial reproof, who have been disfellowshipped, or who need other help. Now, that first name, I have redacted because I'm not going to dox anybody. The elders, I left their first names available, so if you want to find out who these people are, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. A couple of these people are dead, though, because this is 10 years ago. Um, this first person, I was a servant in 2010, and I was in the back during the meeting, and I was doing paperwork. I forget what I was doing. He walks in the Kingdom Hall, and he says, I'm disfellowship. I need an elder. I went and got an elder. And later on, he um, was reinstated. Now, the congregation didn't tell, the elders didn't tell the congregation. I wasn't informed what he did. In April 2011, after my first elders meeting, they brought me up to speed with another person named Rob, who was appointed the same day. And we found out that, I found out that day that he had done some horrible things to his fleshly's younger sister. She was a little girl, and crossed state lines with her, and it's a federal crime. Police were never informed, never notified, and they contacted the branch to see what to do. Do you see that special circumstances or service arrangements? So if the branch labels anybody a predator, they cannot go to an individual's person's house for field service. They will not. So that's another lie. The Watchtower says we're not responsible for kids being abused because we don't force people to go anywhere. We don't have any delegated, meetings at people's houses or arrangements. That's a bunch of lie because again, there's usually 1 or 2 service groups at the Kingdom Hall. The rest are in people's houses. That's a scheduled meeting at somebody's house that there could be a pedophile there. So he was not allowed to go to that house. He had to be assigned to the Kingdom Hall, and he could not work out in service with anybody who weren't his kids. He had 3 kids, so he was allowed to go door to door with his kids, but he could not go out in service with any other kids. The third circumstances was an elder had to be present at each meeting. He was not allowed to go to a meeting without an elder. I mean, go out in service without an elder. So Watchtower kind of protected their own congregation. They kind of did, but not really. They could inform the congregation this person has a problem, is a violent person, disgusting person, but they did not. They kind of protected it for the elder body, but they didn't care about the public. How many times did we go out in service and we would knock on the door and a little kid would answer and their mom was asleep and their dad was, taking a shower? It has happened, and it could happen. So again, this is disgusting in my point. The idea that every time a new elder is appointed, they learn about what this person did. It could have been 5, 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. Anytime a new elder moves in, they discuss about it with the new elder. If this person would move to another congregation, they would have to write a letter of introduction so the elders of the new congregation would know the circumstances, but not the actual witnesses in that congregation. So these are the 3 men assigned to that case. I don't remember what the second case is. It's not really that important. The third case I want to talk about, this guy, nice guy, I like him. He used to be my friend. He cheated on his wife, got remarried. She got pregnant before they were married. Disfellowship for that. Was so sorry. Got reinstated. That Rob guy is a flake. He's just a flake. That was my first judicial committee because Rob was one of those elders that never showed up at the meetings, never went out in service, was never prepared for his talks, was always shooting from the hips. Not a great guy. Just he never read the letters, never kept up to date with anything, and maybe he's awake and doesn't realize it, but doesn't whatever. So they actually took Rob off that case and put me on it because, and so that was the first judicial committee I was on. If you watch my previous video when I talk about my judicial committees, I talk about this case. This man was, you know, repentant, sorry, was at all the meetings, trying the best he could to come back, and yet they kept beating him down over and over and over again, putting restrictions on. It was like the carrot; they just kept dangling it along. This person right here, this person here, I want to dox him, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not a bad person. Um, he was the one that wrote the notes down, how many meetings he was and how many he wasn't at. Like, what a piece of crap he was. Okay, this person right here, baptized 1 year, automatic elders meeting after you're baptized 1 year. It's like a shepherding call to make sure you're doing okay. I think I was actually assigned to this one because this was assigned. I could be wrong. No, I think it was his best friend. I was not assigned to that one. So, I am so sorry. I forgot to block out this circuit officer's name. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I've sinned. We need to form an ex Jehovah's Witness community. I didn't miss that one. Well, there's our circuit series at the time, 2012. I don't have his first name, so you can't figure out who he was. I'm sorry about that. Ministerial servant. This was an interesting case too because this was a great guy. He was one of my friends. He's one of those JWs who's always at the meetings, always out in service, but never commented, but always there with a smile. Always did his parts. Always reliable. Hall cleaning, whatever you needed to do, he was there. Um, he was a great guy. We recommended him. We go to him to say, "Do you want to be a ministerial servant?" He says, "No, I can't. I got this issue. I got this problem." All the other elders said, "Hey, you know, this is Jehovah's Holy Spirit acting." Well, no, if it was Jehovah's Holy Spirit, he wouldn't have been recommended in the first place. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there were 17 elders in this congregation at this point. We had 17 elders talking about people who were having CSA problems and criminals, basically. And it's not just one priest with the information, 17 men, plus the branch, plus other people. Because this person was appointed elder, the next Circuit of the Series visit, he became 18th, the 18th elder in our congregation. Um, yeah, so another flake of an elder, tall, handsome, good-looking guy, great speaker, but never was prepared, never ready. Okay, I want to talk about this local needs part by Jeff. Jeff was a weirdo. He was a weirdo, and there was two big families in our congregation. They were having a fight and splitting. So this was a big issue. I brought this up before another elders meeting. We decided to have a local needs part with Jeff giving it. And he took a daisy, a big daisy, up on the stage and said, "Look at this beautiful flower. Our congregation is so beautiful and perfect." And then he ripped a petal off and threw it in the ground and ripped another petal off. By the end of his talk, it was just a bud. And he goes, "This is what happens when you attack your congregations." Very, very strange talk. But did it work? No, it did not work. We still had problems. Okay, I'm deleting this person. Back then, our congregation was really bad at just working with certain people. They wouldn't work with other people. So we had a local needs part about this. Um, if you remember, before JW Broadcasting, like 10, 15 years ago, we had a video we had to watch every month. We had a service meeting part about it. We had to ask questions, and people would forget to watch that video. And here's my name in there. And then, so that's my local needs part. And then again, I was a regular pioneer. So 2011, September 2011, I started regular pioneering again. And um, you know, um, was upset because I'd make service groups out and then people would go and change them. So I was pretty mad about that. So I made a local needs part about, hey, respecting this authority. Was I out of line? Yeah, I was a little cocky. I was a little full of myself. I was not a perfect elder. I was a humble elder, but when I made a group up, I wanted you to stick to it. So I could have been a better person. So this was my idea for a local needs part. So there's a couple more things I want to talk about here. And this is the water issue. If you can see that here, hopefully you can see this. So our Kingdom Hall was built in 2002. It was right outside the city limits, about 500 feet. We had a well. And this one elder named Phil from Dallastown, he, by law in Pennsylvania, you have to take your water every quarter to get it tested. And what Phil would do was take his tap water from Dallastown and take that in. He wouldn't take it test the water, well water. So, he gets transferred to York Anna congregation. The next elder takes over, He didn't know that. So he just took well water. He took water from the tap, took it in, got it tested. It was E. coli in the water. State media investigation shut our water down immediately because it's a safety hazard. It's a school, a public place, a church. You got to have clean water. Now, the second test did test E. coli. The third or fourth test did not have E. coli. So what somebody thought, because the cap was broken, somebody thought somebody poisoned our water, but I think it was just contamination because it can come. There was fields around there. There was runoff. It was probably runoff from the fertilizer, or the bacteria from the because there was farms all around our Kingdom Hall, and then maybe later on it cleared up, but it was still we were endangering kids in our congregation by having contaminated water. So they called the police and they talked about it, and it's just like crazy. So they'll call the police about water issues or well cap being broken, but not about kids being abused. Horrible, disgusting people. My suggestion: I talked to local township water, the borough. It would have cost us $20,000 to dig a trench, hook up to water. We could have done it a little less than that because RBC could have gotten involved, but it was like at least 20,000. They went with the water filtration system in, and it was like $5,000, I think it was. But then there was more costs that went up after that. It was like 7,000. I think it was all finished to do that. And yeah, it was not a good issue because here's my other complaint now. So now I remember about this. So then once the filtration system was in, so for about a year we had, spring water we had to bring in water coolers. We couldn't drink any of the water, and in the kitchen we couldn't use the water in the kitchen. That they had that sink turned off. Um, So every day after the filtration system was installed, we had to check the pH conductivity level. We had to check the chlorine level to make sure the filtration system was working. And every day we had to write it down. And I made a schedule up. People weren't doing it. They forgot about it. And then every month you had to upload every single day's result to the state's website. I had to do that. I talked to the coordinator, said, just make up numbers. Who cares? Who cares? We still had to take water samples in each month to get them, each quarter to get them tested. So in the long run, it was way more expensive. We would have hooked up to city water. We wouldn't have had to do any of that stuff. And plus, it cost us money for the chlorine. It cost us money for the test systems. It was like, I forget how much it was. But the others were complaining, saying this was Satan trying to shut our Kingdom Hall down, that Satan was coming after us. No, it was laziness. It was stupidity. It was RBC should have had a filtration system put in from the get-go. It was not. It wasn't anything else. So again, it was just probably runoff. The last point I want to talk about in this video is the Kingdom Hall money here. This was the time when, before 2010 or 11, you could keep as much money in the bank as you wanted. This was the time when the Watchtower wanted you to keep some money for a couple thousand, and then the rest had to be at headquarters. But if you needed that money, you could always pull it back. Now you can't even pull it back. So even 10 years ago, Watchtower was being greedy. They were coming after the money. In the congregations, they wanted it all. So we were trying to find a bank that we could have a lower monthly balance without fees, and that's why Eric had this part about that. So yeah, and then again, the go bag. This is 10 years ago. It's nothing new. January 6, 2012, about having a go bag. Where are you going to go? To disasters. This has been going on for. It's all fear, guilt tactics. Armageddon's just around the corner. Or the last day, the last day, the last day. Again, so this is a different kind of video. Will this wake anybody up? Probably not, but I thought it was interesting. It was funny. Make fun of myself, make fun of the other elders. I'm sorry, Brother Benzinger, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry. Call me, text me. I think I still have your number. I apologize for doxing you. I could edit this video, but I'm not going to do that. So if you guys like this video, let me know. I'll do another one. I found my first talk outline. I have the outline. I could rebuttal that and make fun of myself from 20 years ago. 2001, I gave it, April 2001. My aunt showed up with a big VHS camcorder, and she videotaped it. I don't have that copy of that. I wish I would. She's not talking to me, but I would love to see a grainy 480p video of a 20-year-old Martin with hair. Actually, I would have been like 24, I guess, not 20, but and making fun of myself for my talks. But we'll think about it. I also gave us the special talk in 2013. Special talk season's coming around. I could rebuttal my special talk from 9 years ago. So what did you guys think? Did you guys like this video? Thanks for listening to me ramble again, and thank you for watching. I love every one of you guys. If you have any questions, need any help, please leave a comment down below. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.